Hello and welcome to Talk the Walk. Today we are in Ventnor and we'll be walking to Steephill Cove.
Ventnor is one of Britain's most famous Victorian health resorts due to its unique microclimate and became fashionable in the late 19th century. Medical advances during the early 20th century meant that its role as a health resort was reduced, and its summer holiday trade suffered from the changing nature of travel during the latter part of the century. The town lies beneath St Boniface Down, which is the highest point on the Isle of Wight, and its sheltered location beneath the hilly chalk downland and south-facing orientation towards the English Channel means there are more sunny days and fewer frosts than the rest of the island. The coast stretches from Luckham to Blackgang and is 12 kilometres long. Many gardens grow subtropical species, such as palms and banana plants, which wouldn't survive on the mainland.
The Winter Gardens was the most fashionable place to be on the island in the 1930s, and people used to come on boat trips just to see the iconic building. It opened in 1936 and was built on the site of an old Victorian vicarage. It remains a pioneering example of Art Deco architecture.
The Cascade Gardens are subtropical and were designed by Edgar Harvey in 1903. The water that flows down used to supply Ventnor Mill at the top of the cascade, and now it supplies the eco-toilets. 1.25 million gallons of water used to flow every day, which is far more than there is today.
There used to be a little lake here where children came to play with their toy boats, and a much larger lake was added in 1935. Today there is a paddling pool shaped like the Isle of Wight.
The Royal Victoria Pier opened in 1887, replacing another pier and harbour that had been destroyed by the sea. This was a very fashionable place to see and be seen, and it became a regular promenade.
The pier had its own concert hall hosting all year-round entertainment, and paddle steamers came from the mainland, bringing large numbers of visitors. The pier survived 2 world wars, despite it being cut in half to prevent invaders from using it. In the early 1950s, the pier was refurbished, but from the late 1960s, its conditions started to deteriorate, and following a fire, it was dismantled in 1993.
This water fountain was placed here in 1883 to encourage people to drink more water and not consume alcohol.
Here is St Catherine's Church, which dates from 1837, when the town was growing in population. It was designed by the architect Robert Ebbels at a cost of £4,655 and was built by John Hamborough of Steephill Castle. The chancel was a later addition in 1849 and the south aisle in 1897. This chalk engraving can clearly be seen well out to sea, and first appeared here in 1934. When war broke out in 1939, it was removed, but since then it has been refurbished on several occasions.
Ventnor Park is an award-winning park of nearly 7 acres, which is perfect for a stroll along the stream, walking your dog or a peaceful picnic. The Victorian bandstand used to be part of the original Ventnor Pier before being resited in 1903, and in summer live music is played from it. There is also a putting green, cafe and outdoor gym. Plenty of wildlife can be seen in the park, including blue tits, song thrushes, red squirrels and lizards.
This is our favourite park on the Isle of Wight, and it's not hard to see why.
Steephill Cove is a hidden gem on the Isle of Wight, and access is by foot only. Here you will find character houses, rock pools and fresh crab caught by the local fishermen.
Here is an old incinerator from the Royal National Hospital, which was used for burning linen and hospital waste.
The Royal National Hospital opened in 1869. It was a hospital for diseases of the chest, mostly TB, and was over a quarter of a mile long. At that time, the main treatment was fresh air and sunshine. More than 100,000 patients were treated, many were cured and others weren't so fortunate. Due to the development of antibiotics, the hospital closed in 1964 and was demolished in 1969.
Ventnor Botanic Gardens now stands on the original site and is said to be very haunted, specifically around the site of the old operating theatre. There have been reported sightings of a young girl, sounds of moaning and weeping, and sudden drops in temperatures.
Steephill Castle was erected in 1833 and took 2 years to complete, costing £250,000. It was a country house with towers and turrets rather than a defensive castle. The castle saw many visitors during its time, including Queen Victoria and Albert, who would enjoy the terraced walks and beautiful views. Having passed through many hands during its time, by 1959 the castle became unfit for purpose, and by 1963 the site was derelict, the grounds were completely overgrown, and so it was demolished to make way for the current houses. This old stone wall is all that remains of the castle which once stood on this site.
We have now completed our walk.
Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.